What's good, fam? It's your boy Jorge. Welcome to another episode of Hanging with the Boys.
Pardon me.
There you go. I got the infamous host of Two Dumb Hunks, Hater Dave, in the studio.
What's up, guys? Gyno couldn't make it today.
First time drinking?
Yeah, I just spilled a little bit of my sparkling water.
It's not cheap, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Coming out of your budget.
Oh, Costco's pretty cheap these days. Yeah, I actually find myself hunting around for good prices there now. I'm getting too cheap, I think. Too frugal.
You just need to live life, dude.
No.
Don't worry about it.
Topo Chico, too expensive. I'm not paying $24
delicious.
for 12 bottles or whatever it is when I can get, Costco brand for 36, I don't know what it is, 36 cans for $10. I'm like,
yeah, but that's where all the microplastics come from.
Yeah, whatever.
The off brands.
Yeah.
So,
well, actually, they come from my testes.
I guess so. Before we get too deep into it, I want to say, if you're in the area, Northern California, next week, Thursday, June 13th, I believe.
Yes.
Placerville Fairgrounds, or Placerville, I think it's like the Raceway. So let's call it the Raceway. It's right next to Rayleigh's, which is awesome. Go over there and get a yerby, you know. They have their annual fair. I don't know if it's like, it's not a state fair, so it's like their county fair, I believe.
Okay,
it's
cool.
pretty decent.
Yeah.
So FMX Rampage, I'll be there with Adam Jones, first show of the year. Django Unchained will be on the ones and twos. So if you're in the area, Northern California, come on by.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, you're going.
Am I?
I don't know. I thought you were.
I'm in. Okay.
You nervous?
About what?
Taking photos?
No.
Action image.
Yeah. I'm wearing the logo today.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's just,
You dehydrated?
it's fun. Yeah. Why?
You can't put that thing down.
I know.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous.
Well, yeah, you actually are doing something. Nothing I'm doing is going to get in the way or be looked at as like,
Yeah, you're not part of the show,
yeah,
but yeah.
I'm just like there. So, I think you guys will do well. You guys got a couple of things lined up, don't you?
Yeah, so it's like a brand new show. It's the same format as last year. So if you guys saw it last year, interactive with the crowd. Jones talks while he's actually flipping and doing all the tricks. He's talking in his mic, so you guys will be able to hear him. It's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I've seen that before when he's doing it, and like he'll be in the middle. He'll be like 50 feet in the air.
Yeah,
doing some kind of trick. He'll be upside down, just talking, and I'm like, is
He
this
like-
pre-recorded? Like, what's going on?
he
right
like
now?
grunts. And he's like, "Oh, that was a tough one today." Like
Yeah.
it's like, how do you do that? You know?
Yeah.
But we have some new stuff. I'm more involved this year, like speaking. And then we have Cole Denny, which does X Games. So he's doing a segment where he's building a ramp. So I'm not really sure how it works. I kind of heard, but I'll leave it up for the imagination, so you guys have to go. But he's building a ramp, right? So we're talking about they hit a ramp that's, I don't know how tall the ramps are, like over 10 feet or 10 feet tall, you know?
Yeah.
Shoots them up, 30, 40 feet in the air and then land on an airbag. And you've seen the airbags. They're humongous, right?
Yeah.
So he has to make a ramp that's tall enough to shoot him to land on the airbag within that time period that we're giving him.
Oh, so he doesn't have much time.
No. And it's not like he's going to go out there and cut stuff. It's like Jimmy rigged MacGyver style. Like maybe he might.
Why does he have to build one?
That's his thing.
Oh, okay. So this is just like something he's taking on.
Yeah, that's
Like,
his thing. Like he likes.
The FMX ramp is just fine.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So he'll be jumping that, but at the same time, there's a segment we're doing with him where he's Jimmy rigging his own ramp to hit and land on the landing. So hopefully that goes all good.
Yeah, let's hope so.
I mean, I heard
good
like
luck.
a ladder is involved and maybe a vehicle and wood.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But it's not like he's like nailing everything down.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty risky.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm actually excited because I haven't seen it in person.
Maybe he'll put it a little closer to the airbag.
I think it is closer.
Okay.
But at the same time, I'm saying like it's like has to be tall enough to shoot him up in the air and land on it.
Yeah.
Which is pretty gnarly.
That is.
So we got that, and then we got Javier Villegas gonna be there, and he's kind of like a Jones. He's been around for a long time, has a lot of good tricks from Costa Rica, I believe. So he has a big following in the Hispanic world.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool. So it should be a good show.
Excellent.
Yeah, so we got that. And then the following week, I got to see you again.
Yeah, it's going to be rough.
Be in Mammoth for Mammoth Motocross.
Yeah, I'll be, our families will be in the same place for 3 days or so.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be fun.
Should be good. Well, knowing you guys will leave like 2 hours into the trip, so
I know.
I'm not counting on
My
it.
poor little guy, he gets sick all the time.
Yeah, so that's going to be a rough one, dude.
Nah, that'd be good.
Looking forward to it.
Awesome. What else? What else?
Nah, I don't know. I wonder how the weather's going to be. It's like 90s here.
I looked it up just earlier this week. It was like in the 70s. And I was like, well, let's hope it just kind of toes that line for us.
But then also it's in the mountains, so 70s might be kind of cold.
No.
No?
It'll be fine. The only thing is we're a lot higher in elevation, so I think yeah, it is. So you just get sunburn easier.
It's like 8,000.
Yeah, that's fucked.
Yeah, so I think that's all we got going on. So we got the show next week. If you're in Northern California, make sure you go. Should be fun. Not only are you going for the show, but if you take your kids, you can also check out the carnival, eat some carny food, which is probably really bad for you. But what else are you going to do in the summer?
I know, right? I mean, a carnival. I've never been huge on carnivals, but now that I got kids, I'm kind of like, we should go.
I've always been bigger on like carny food, but then like I try to eat better now, so that doesn't seem too appealing to me. And then the games, but it's like rigged, right? So
yeah,
you can go. So a lot of the ones they have are like win a big ass like Pikachu or like Pokemon type deal, right? So it's like you can go on Amazon, find that same Pikachu for $30, or spend like 80 trying to win it.
Right.
So that's why I tell my kids, I'm like, I could just buy you that if you really want it. Like,
yeah,
I get the whole fun of like playing the game, but it's rigged where we're not gonna really win it.
Right.
Or like you win and
like
then
flip the ring on the bottle on the tops of the bottles. That's like the hardest odds I think there are.
My wife did that at Circus.
She went?
Yeah, she threw it and won this. Like, dude, right when we got there, and then won this.
Then you had to fucking drag around a 4-foot teddy bear.
What was that caterpillar that's in my kids' room? That's like 5 feet.
Oh, really?
Long. Yeah. So I had to like carry out the whole time. I'm like, damn it. But it was cool that she did it. But yeah, the stuff's rigged. You win one, you get the little one. They're like, oh, well, you got to win 5 in a row.
Were you guys dating then?
No.
Oh, you were married already?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you weren't trying to flex for her or nothing.
No, dude, we've been married for, well, not married, but we've been together for ages.
I know. I'm just trying to feel it out. Like, is this a situation?
Almost 20 years.
Just a situation where you
beat that.
Yeah.
Whoever is out there.
I haven't beat that.
No.
I've been married. Marriage, yes, but not together. Yeah, I've been married 12 years.
That's nothing.
Yeah. I was just trying to figure out if you had to like, be like, I don't really want to carry that, but I'm going to be a part of what's going on right now.
No, I think the kids were with us actually, so I had to carry it for them. Little bastards. It's like you wanted it, and then now I have to carry it.
Yeah.
So that should be fun. Carnivals, but and then the rides. I've never been fans of those rides. They like jerk you too much.
They are a little scary. Like it's kind of like when you're getting on an airplane. There's a whole agency behind the safety of airplanes. There's not one of those on Carnival, right? So it's just
there is. There's one guy.
Yeah,
it's right. Joe Dirt.
Yeah.
That's over there checking out your sister.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say he's over there with his sister forgetting to check the bolts on the machine.
Yeah, but no, they're just like very jarring. They're not necessarily like fun, like smooth. They're just like, jarring, and it's like,
that's true.
Get a headache from them.
Yeah, there's actually it wasn't even a carnival. There was a ride at it was Great America Vallejo. They had this one called the Raptor. It had these big ass orange pads on the sides of your head. It looked kind of cool, and we were over there, so I was like, yeah, let's go on this, dude. Fucking jerkiest ride I've ever been on. Like, I had a headache when I got off it, and then I realized why those pads were there. I was like, why? It's like it's like the typical you're on rails. I was thinking this is gonna be kind of smooth, fast, hard turns. Thing was just like the whole time, just back and forth, super hard.
Yeah,
I was like, whoa, this is not fun.
Yeah, I did. I really like the ones that you kind of go high, like and then you drop down super fast.
Yeah,
it's like a cool feeling, you know, whatever. So at Disneyland one time, I went on one and I thought that's what it was, but it was the opposite. You like start at the bottom and it shoots you straight up.
At the California Adventure Park?
Yeah.
Oh, I think I did that one.
Dude, that was like the first ride I rode. I had a headache the whole day
Really?
from that.
That thing fucked me up because I was going to make some stupid face, my uncles or something. I was like, I don't know. I don't know how old I was when we went there, but I was like, oh yeah, this will be funny, huh? Wait till we take off. Dude, as soon as it took off, I blacked out and I woke up at the top and I was like, holy fuck, what just happened? It was, yeah, it was pretty violent.
Yeah.
I was like, that was cool.
It's like the opposite of what I wanted. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that, I don't even know if it exists anymore, but the California, the hotel elevator ride, I don't even remember what that's called.
Yeah, yeah.
But that one is like the opposite where it kind of just drops you.
Drop down, yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Those are cool.
Let's talk about clickbait news. I'm going to read you a headline.
All right.
And then
I'll tell you if it's clickbait.
Well, this is just one headline.
Oh, okay.
And I'll tell you about it afterwards. Giant venomous flying spider with 4-inch legs heading to New York.
Mm-hmm.
Scary?
I mean, not really.
No, giant venomous.
They're giant. You could see them. I'd be more scared of something I can't
fly.
really see.
They fly.
They don't fly. I think they just like get in the air a little easier. I don't think they fly.
So you know about them
wings.
Already?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then fuck. I can't trick you.
It's hitting the
clickbait bullshit. This is called a Joro spider. Joro. Look it up. And it's a class of orb weaver.
Mm-hmm.
Which there's this. When I was in San Diego a number of years back, I actually went to a spider exhibit just to see this one spider. Oh. It's a golden orb weaver. They're down in like Puerto Rico, I think.
That's pretty nerdy.
Well, we were there. It's not like
you just said you went there specifically to see that spider.
Yeah, okay. You're right. All right, I did say that. No, so anyway, I went to go see it because we were watching, me and my kids were watching on YouTube. I was like, damn, that's a fucking crazy looking spider.
Yeah.
So we were looking for things to do. And yes, at the Natural History Museum, there was a spider exhibit there for a limited time. So I was like, that's what we should go do. So I went and walked through this exhibit with all these, like, there was a couple thousand live spiders and these things. And they're pretty gnarly looking, but they're really pretty. Anyway, this is like a cousin of that. Mm-hmm. So kind of neat. Apparently they kind of like quasi parachute from place to place.
Yeah.
If they, I don't know, fall. So, if they make it out here, I'll be knocking them off branches.
How giant are they when they say giant?
Well, they say 4-inch legs. I mean, so it depends if you're looking at the body or the whole spread, including it, because visually spiders can be pretty daunting. But then if you look at the body, they're kind of small. Small. Anyway, so they actually pose no real threat to humans at all.
So what's up with the venom then?
Well, all spiders are venomous. They, basically liquefy the insides of their prey. Mm-hmm. And eat them, but it's not like, and they're not going to be out to like bite you or anything. Yeah. It's just like one of those things. They might bite you if you accidentally brush into one or it feels threatened and you didn't realize it. But considering it's a red and black and yellow spider, it'd be pretty hard to miss.
Yeah.
So anyway, don't freak out. I just saw that headline and then I read about it and I was like, well, that's bullshit.
So I see like TikTok videos or whatever, and it's like, they'll start with a certain thing and then the video just ends. And you're like, dude.
So like where it doesn't complete the...
Yeah, so it's not even a clickbait title. It's more like a clickbait intro.
Yeah, yeah.
Where it doesn't complete, so you watch the whole thing. I report all those.
Yeah, I kind of started doing that too.
Because I'm like, dude, I get what you're doing, but I don't like it.
God, it fucking pisses me off when it's a 3-minute video and then you sit there and you watch it like, oh, cool, I want to see whatever, how this escalates or what happens, and then it just ends. So what I started doing is actually when I start looking at, first I'll look for in the subtext, part 1, part 2, part 3. So I know if I'm on a fucking movie that's not gonna,
Yeah.
And then also what I'll do, first thing I'll do, if I look at something and it has like context of we're gonna build this or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll go click on the comments first thing because it's just a shitload of comments of don't waste your time.
But that's the thing though. That's engaging with them. So that's giving them engagement.
I don't comment. I just look at the comments.
No, I know. But you clicking through that, I believe, is still engagement because you're like on the post for a certain amount of time. Right. And you're engaging with it. So it's still giving them some kind of engagement. So it still boosts them a lot. So that's why I just report them.
Okay.
Because it's like, dude.
That is pretty aggravating.
Yeah.
And there's like no purpose to what they're doing.
And there is a purpose to it, but I get it, but it's annoying. It's like
the purpose is to drive views and engagement, not to offer something beneficial or useful to anyone watching.
Yeah.
So,
and it's like, if you're going to be a creator and your style is going to be that, or that's how you're going to try and get, like, I don't see how those people even make it. You know what I mean? Because eventually people are like, dude,
yeah,
this is annoying.
Right. Well, I have not noticed, or haven't paid attention, but I have not noticed that the same person keeps coming up and I keep watching their videos, though. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like one of those, like, maybe they're not successful.
Yeah.
Maybe if you look at a couple of their videos, just go to their page and be like, well, okay, I'm out of here.
But on the same scope on that, like the news outlets that do that, at one point, people are going to be like, stop going to them or stop thinking they're credible, because it's clickbait. And yeah, we get it, but you can't just be going, giant venomous spiders are going to infest the East Coast, beware.
Yeah.
And then you read it and it's nothing about that. So then it's like you're lying to the consumer.
Right.
So eventually the consumer's going to be like, dude, I ain't reading none of your articles because they're all not real.
I know, but this is straight from CBS, so.
Well, and then you read it and then you're like, well, I didn't really gain much from that.
Right. I don't know, man. It's one of those things. There was this article I wanted to bring up here, but I don't remember it off the top of my head, so it's going to be a little too hard. But I guess Caitlin Clark's getting a little backlash already.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's some players already complaining that, she's not the only one.
Yeah, that's
and
annoying.
It's like, God, shut up.
So that, I think it's a thing where just the equality, like, I don't know. It's women want to be equal to men and all that, but then all of a sudden a tranny comes in and smokes you, and then you start complaining when you're like at the top. You're like, oh, well, that's a man,
right,
or a male. It's the same thing now. They complain.
Tranny comes in.
They complain about the WNBA being underpaid.
Right.
People not really watching, and you brought this up before when we've talked about it. The NBA is huge because people want to watch.
Right.
WNBA, no one wants to watch, so you can't really pay these women what you pay the men because they're not bringing in the same kind of audience, right?
Right.
So they complain about all this. All of a sudden, you get this female athlete that comes in, and she's bringing in a ton of audience, and now you guys are like, well, she's not the only one in the league.
I mean, there was a league before her.
Yeah, but she's the one that's making the noise for the league. So, you know what I mean? If anything changes and you guys start getting like a pay raise or like more sponsors, more, the eyes that are coming in watching the WNBA, that's all because of her. It's not because of you guys.
Right.
You guys were there already.
I don't know, man. People are just never happy.
No, it's a bunch of just complaining and just don't see it for what it really is, You can't blame the person that's actually, she's getting all the attention, She was like on a private jet and with her teammates when like these girls fly Southwest most of the time, So I get it. Like you see that and you're like, dude, they get everything. I get it. But at the same time, she might bring the change that the WNBA needs. And if you're cool, you're going to be part of that change. But some of these girls, they're just like bully her, like go and like check her, like shoulder check her and all that. And it's like, that's not even it. She don't even have the ball.
Yeah. Yeah. Just keeping her on her toes, I suppose.
So, yeah. Lame.
It is. You keeping up with the AI stuff at all?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's all kinds of new medical shit coming out with that. You listened to our podcast last week where there's supposed to be like, there's a company out there now that's trying to, they're predicting that within the next 8 years, they can do full on head transplants using machines with AI.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea how that would work, but I would ask them to put me on a dark lower.
I don't think it would work, dude.
You wouldn't think so, but
well, just because if you think about all the cadaver stuff that people get in them that get rejected, so like mostly knee ligaments,
mm-hmm.
You get a cadaver from a dead person, you get
right.
their whatever, you get it put in you, and then your body just tends to reject it sometimes. Sometimes it's great, right? And you have no problem. Sometimes your body doesn't want it, so they have to figure out something different. So now we're talking about, we're taking, let's say, all your arteries and all your whatever you got, all your cables, I will call it.
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
And you're attaching it to this head that has other cables.
Yeah.
There has to be something that goes wrong there.
Hopefully the wires are colored for you.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't see the body just taking to it.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Part of it's like, you always have these medical marvel companies coming out saying this is going to be, approachable and this and that. And half the time I just think it's just a money grab.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think if it was just as easy as connecting arteries together and your shit will work, that would have already been happening.
Right.
So obviously there's more to it. And then also too, like, so get decapitated. So like, how do you connect the head to the body? You have to like fuse their neck. So that person's not going to be able to walk
I don't
anyways.
think like decapitation would qualify for this. I think.
But how do you get the head off the body?
They got to cut it off.
Yeah. Decapitated.
Okay.
I know what you're saying.
I guess
like,
in my mind, decapitation means an accident, like auto accident.
Yeah. Well, you're dead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless they put it on ice, I guess.
Yeah.
And
why not?
Whatever. But I get what you're saying.
It up for them,
But you're going to have to cut through. And I imagine your spinal cord and all that. You have to cut through all that to get the head off, put it on a different body.
Mm-hmm.
Attaching it, you're not walking. You're going to be paralyzed.
Possibly.
You know what I mean? Well,
I wonder if they can just fucking, since we're talking about it, I wonder if they can just take like basically a heart replacement, just a pump, and just fucking jam it up your neck hole after they cut your head off and keep your head alive and conscious.
Just your head?
Yeah. Like I could just be sitting here on a fucking table, just my head talking.
With a fake heart?
Yeah, with just like a water pump on the side, just filtering my blood.
Maybe.
I'm like, Jesus. Bro.
Well, that was that one guy in Wild Wild West.
Remember
he was just the head.
Yeah, he was like a spider or something.
Yeah,
I think that was at the end of the movie or something. But spoiler alert. Yeah, I was just like, well, where are we right now? So if they can why couldn't they just keep you alive with a pump on the side?
Dude, I don't know.
Imagine that. You could eat as much as you wanted to if they did it right, and it would never affect your weight. Sorry.
Dude, but if they could keep you alive like that, like how is it that you have a heart attack and you die? Just pull that fucker out and then just put you on a pump.
Yeah. There it is. We're over here solving humans' problems.
I just don't, issues. I don't think it's that easy.
Speaking of that, have you, did you do a podcast last week?
Hell no.
Okay, yeah, I think I gave you some shit about that. You didn't tell anyone about your setup outside. Got to talk about it.
What setup?
Your ice bath.
Oh.
Dude.
I just set that up this week.
It's pretty legit. I know.
Well, it's just a cooler turned into an ice bath.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it.
It's cold.
It done.
It's cold.
I wonder about rust. Is there going to be a rust issue there? I mean, you could buy a chest freezer for $150 at this point. So
that's what it is. Yeah.
It's almost worth just doing it that way. Cause it's like, I've had like the Polar Pro, ice bath only cost me like, I think $80 to $130 for it. And it's nice, it's comfortable when you get in there. The water's not comfortable, but then like just all the maintenance and shit, if you want to change the water, if you gotta, I guess.
What was that? The little hot tub thing, the barrel?
No, yeah. It was round.
Yeah.
And it was inexpensive. But the thing is like you gotta get that water where you want it.
Oh, it was an inflatable one.
Yeah.
And
it was like supposed to be somewhat insulated. I'm like, this shit ain't insulated. This fucking water sucks. I was freezing 5-gallon buckets of water.
Well, your problem is you had it outside.
And
so I had mine inside.
Yeah.
So it was fine. But yeah, and then you got to empty the water out.
I mean, that makes it even worse because then you probably got to move it around if someone wants to use the area, whatever,
No, I had it in my bathroom.
Mine, I built like a little patio for it. I got a hose connected to it that runs all the way out to the fucking gutter underground, I got it all set up. So it's like, well, I just open the little drain and out it goes. I refill it. Yeah, it's like, it's just kind of appealing.
Well, and that's the thing. A lot of people do it nowadays and they'll just go on Craigslist and get it for $30.
Holy shit.
I think Mace just had a ice chest and he sold his for $50.
Really?
Well, you should have told me. I would have bought it.
Yeah.
But then I got this one for free anyway, so it was even better.
And then so far from what you're finding is that you only need to run it for about 2 hours.
2 to 3 hours,
2 to 3 hours a day to get the water down to like 40 degrees.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way to go.
Yeah. So what I do is I have like a timer, and I got this from Adam Jones because that's what they have. A timer set when I want it to turn on in the morning.
Yeah.
And then turn off. So I have it turn off by like 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
So like 7. So by the time I go in like 8 or 9 in the morning, it's been running. So it's like the coldest it's going to be. And then you get in. And then I have a little cover for it. So I put it on when the sun comes to that side of the house. And then it stays cool. Like even last night when I went in it, it was freezing.
Really?
And that was like from the sun being on it for, however
And it was
many
fucking
hours.
97 degrees or something yesterday. Yeah. Wow, that's amazing.
So it's good insulation.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of those times, those freezers go in the garage. Your garage is super hot.
Right.
So they're like really good insulated.
Ooh, that's a good thought too.
Yeah. So just the seams, you put like caulking or whatever, like waterproof, mold proof.
Yeah.
You put that so it doesn't get into the unit, I guess, eventually. And then that's it.
Nice.
Make sure you
So do you
unplug
work
it.
out? You work out afterwards?
Yeah, I work out afterwards
Okay.
to get my temperature back
Oh, okay.
to warm.
I think they said they're supposed to do that naturally.
Well, yeah. So it's like, so I'll do it, right? And then get out, dry up, change. By the time I get to the gym, I've already been walking and, stuff like that.
All right.
So-
Okay. Yeah, because they say, from what I understand, you're not supposed to use one after you work out because the inflammation in your muscles is part of the, like, basically building process if you're trying to, gain muscle or whatever.
Yeah, gain. But I think if you're trying to recover. So last night I did it because I went riding for the first time since I broke my hand.
Well, yeah, but that's good, though.
Yeah. So I was like, well, I might as well do it again to send you the video because you have to go try out that food truck now.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So how do I have to suffer and do shit for you and you get
What do you mean for me?
joy? Well, you're like, I'll try that.
I'm like, yo,
I'll try this.
send me a video or it didn't happen.
You're like, yeah, well, you're like, I'll try this burger food truck if you do an ice bath. I'm like, I got to do the ice bath and you get food.
It looks so good. Hey, if you're in the Carson City area, even Reno or Minden, and you're going to be in Carson, look up, I think it's called Candy Burger, the food truck. And
It's all pink and shit.
yeah, it was weird. I was like, what's this about? So
Was it
then I
by
went-
Arby's?
It was right down the street here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lone Max
I've
or
seen it.
something. Yeah. But just look on their Instagram and you'll see what their food looks like. It looks pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, it's like legit burgers. So.
Yeah. Yeah. So I went riding yesterday, first time. And I was like, I'm going to probably need it. So I got in it. Dude, my hands were hurting. It was so cold.
Really? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Got a good shiver out of it and stuff. Got out and then went in the shower real quick just to rinse off and slept like a baby.
Nice.
So recovery
That is
good.
one of the great things about it, though. You do it in the evening, like fucking when you go
That's
to
the
bed,
thing.
it's like game over.
So I get it. I get what people say about the. I mean, there's multiple uses, right? I use it more like as a dedication thing. Like it does suck. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
But especially when it's that cold.
Yeah.
Like the other one I had, was never that cold.
Right.
So this thing is freezing, right? So I'm like, I don't want to do this. But you tell yourself, don't be a pussy, and you do it.
Yeah.
And then you feel better about yourself because you did it. It was
Right.
like a hard thing to do. So
Kind of sets you on a path for the day.
yeah. So that I totally understand when people say that. But then when they're like, oh, I just feel so amazing. My endorphins, 6 hours long. You're a liar.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel good after one.
Well, yeah,
Like,
you
I'm
feel good.
cold,
You feel good after it.
but like-
but to say that you're, I don't know.
Elevated.
To say that you wake up today feeling like shit and then tomorrow you do it and you wake up like Superman. I don't believe it. I've
Yeah.
done it.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's how people
I feel
act.
fucking good after I do one.
Well, of course.
For a while.
It's
I
part-
do get super tired though.
And you shouldn't because it says like it's the same as like drinking caffeine and you get that caffeine boost for like what 2 hours or something like that and then you crash.
Yeah.
And then they say it's like 6 to 8 hours you get that caffeine boost in your body, like that feeling.
Yeah.
And you're good for all day.
Yeah, I don't know
like,
about 6 or 8 hours,
I
but
don't- I don't know
4 or
about
5, I feel pretty damn good. After that, I'm like, damn, now I'm tired.
Yeah. I feel good as far as like I did something I didn't want to do. And it wakes you up for sure.
Yeah.
100%. And your body does feel like a little bit better. Like you get all tingly and stuff when your body starts like heating up again. And
Right.
you feel good. I'm not going to lie. But also I'm not going to over exaggerate what people try to say like the ice bath studio. But like you were saying, there's different things to it, right? So some people want to do it before and then they work out later so it doesn't affect their mass, like growing
Right,
muscle
right.
and all that. Other people want to do it for just recovery. So you exercise and stuff, and then you get in it. You're gonna get the benefits, all the other benefits, but then you're gonna get the recovery from it, and maybe it'll affect maybe growing muscle at some point. I don't know, and I don't know how much that is either.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I feel like if you're working out, you're working out.
Yeah, I don't know what it does to strength. That's a good question, because I notice strength is a fucking elusive thing for me. Because like I'll go work out a bunch, and we'll call it 6 weeks. I'll train, and then I'll take a week off, and when I return on that next week, I'm stronger than I've ever been before. And I'm like, ideally you'd think intuitively you'd just think, oh, I've kind of went backwards a little bit.
Was it like fatigue probably throughout the week?
Yeah, something. I don't know.
And then you come back like refreshed. What you should do is ride dirt bikes.
Yeah, I'm good.
Dude.
I tried that, remember?
Not really.
Yeah.
So I went and, I've been working out, been running, lifting weights. I haven't lifted in a month. But, dude, riding yesterday, I could just feel like my bicep is just like weak. It just feels
really?
weak. Like, like just sitting on the bikes, riding. I'm like, damn, dude, my arm kind of just feels like it's just like fatigued. And then my knees, like the top here, whatever these ligaments are, or this muscle up top here.
Right, your quad.
I'm like, dude, those are on fire for one, but then they also feel like super weak.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I've been running a lot.
Yeah.
So it's like you use different muscles, obviously, on a dirt bike. You're probably using like all your muscles. But certain muscles pop up on me, and I'm like, dude, those feel like kind of fatigued riding,
Your
the more I
when you
ride.
get off, or what?
Huh?
Your legs shaking when you get off?
No, but you're sitting down, you're standing up, you're sitting down, standing up. It's almost like a laziness where I'm like, oh, fuck, I got to stand up again.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not that I'm tired, but it's like my legs feel it.
Right.
So it's like that laziness there. The more you ride, that goes away. But, it's been a month since I've rode, and I feel that stuff. And I'm like, dude, you don't get that at the gym. I'm sorry. Like, you don't,
Yeah.
Dude, ride some dirt bikes. That's what I try to tell Mike all the time.
No. No dirt bikes for me.
Okay. What else you got for me?
Let's see. Louisiana lawmakers approve castration for pedophiles.
Nothing wrong with that.
It's just one of those things where it's like the headline, and then it's like it'll take an act of God to actually get that to happen, though. A judge is gonna have to sentence someone for that.
Yeah. The only thing I will say about that, and 99% of the time, it probably would never happen. But I guess you got to say it, and that's why probably a lot of stuff like this doesn't pass. But imagine you got framed, or imagine like.
I think it'd have to be like indisputable evidence, like, hey, your semen was.
But that's kind of okay. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But just imagine you're in a situation. You got a baby mama. She hates you. She forces the daughter.
Well, I think this is particular to kids under 13.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
You ain't gonna tell a 15-year-old a lie. They're probably gonna be like, "No, that's my dad."
Yeah.
But a 8-year-old, you could probably make them do whatever.
Right.
Hey, make sure you say your dad touched you and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden the guy gets killed. He never did anything.
Right.
So I will say that. But I mean, if you're legit a pedophile, then do it.
Off with your head.
You said castration, not killed.
Right.
I thought you meant death penalty.
No.
That'd
castration.
be cool too. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. That's not bad. You could do that.
Like, it's not bad, like you would try it, or
no, they should do it to them. I was just saying
that's not bad. You could do that.
I was saying, imagine someone lying and you get found guilty, and then they kill you, and you're like, "Fuck, I didn't even do it."
Right.
Because and like I said, 99% of the time, that's probably not the issue.
Right.
It's like the person really did it. But castration, you're still alive. So I mean, even if they got it wrong, you're still alive, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you got that going for you. It says surgically. I would wish they'd just put it in a guillotine.
Well, didn't they used to do it like medicine wise?
Yeah,
chemical
castration. I don't know how that works. If like your shit actually falls off that way, or if it just kind of
just doesn't work.
Renders your hormone thing useless.
Yeah,
your testes. I don't know.
I mean, there's something like I said. on the podcast with Pilot Hero that in prison supposedly they
dope the food up.
They dope the drinks up so they don't get all horny.
Right.
So they're not raping each other. So there must be something out there.
Yeah, but there's definitely that. Because, like, isn't that a Munich? Isn't that called a Munich?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought it was a country or like a city in Germany.
Well, there's that too. But here, let me look it up real quick. This is interesting.
But yeah, so but I'm down with that. How long till Arkansas passes it? It goes well for them, and then other states adopt the same policy or law. You think? Pretty quick.
What was your question? Particular to the state, or?
Well, I said, like, how long do you think till Arkansas like actually does pass it, and it goes?
I think it was Louisiana.
Or Louisiana, wherever it is. How long till they actually do it, and then they start doing the procedures, and it goes really well, and you start seeing
it goes really well. Dicks are falling off,
and then other states start. They're like, yeah, we should do that too.
Probably not long. I mean, I don't know why, if it was possible, they didn't do this before.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's definitely the red states that are going to be passing that.
Well, it's like, you know, like Florida was open during COVID, and then everyone's like, oh, Florida's doing it, so let's us do it. Like, it was kind of one of those things, like.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, Florida, there's something interesting going on right now where they've allocated funds. They said, hey, from now on, you basically can vote with your money when it comes to school district. So parents have the option. Like, there's no longer like, hey, you live in this school district. This is the school you're going to. They say, here's the amount of money that your child has for education. What school you want to go to. And so there's a number of public schools now closing because they're all fucking going to all the funding is going to private schools. Because the parents are like, well, let's put them in this school. Let's put them in that school. So it's something kind of interesting that's happening.
That's in Florida?
Yeah.
Because I heard the opposite actually happens.
What?
Like funding private schools are like funded by
the people that attend them.
Right. But then I heard like public schools get better funding because it's like government issue.
Well, that really depends on the private school. I mean, if you're going to a private school that charges, $40,000 a kid a year, they're going to be well off,
Yeah.
But if you go to a private school where they're only charging like $8,000 a year, they're going to be struggling, But that's not what's happening here. They're taking state funds that are given to them by the federal government and issuing payment to schools where parents are electing for their kids to go. So they've given the parents the right to choose where their kids are going to go to school.
So private doesn't even matter.
Right.
So,
which is good because, I mean, if if you know anything about capitalism, competition drives, creation. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, there's a downside to that too, but, so schools want to do better, right?
Yeah.
Instead of just being like, well, this is public, this is your only choice, so you get what we give you. Mm-hmm. And so they're trying to kind of get away from that. Now, there's still people going to public school, but the option exists,
Good for them.
Yep.
Dude, Florida's kind of on it.
Well, it just depends on what you're looking at, but yeah, they're all over. They're interesting plays. I mean, alligators and private schools. But whatever. What else is going on? Anything?
You were looking at something about.
I couldn't find it. Munich is a place in Germany, but I thought there was the word Munich was like someone with no nuts. I don't know. I'm kind of like correlating that with a monk somehow. Maybe I've seen
they got no nuts.
Video. Yeah.
Monks don't have no nuts.
Yeah. That's right.
Might be true. They get kicked in the nuts. Like
I don't know about that.
In
They're
the street shows,
peaceful people.
Well, in the street shows, they show it because it's like that are what's it called? They're disciplined.
Okay.
That they can get kicked and not have any reaction or nothing.
Yeah. Like Happy Gilmore. He's taking hits to the head from baseballs in his thing.
I wonder when that's going to come out on Netflix, the new one.
Probably next year. I don't know. They usually announce something and it takes
forever.
Be
good.
I hope so. Hopefully it's not a flop. I found so here's a little prank that I saved because I thought this one was funny. But basically these guys, these seniors in high school, like sometimes pranks are a little too far, This one I think was good because it like got the community's hopes up, but it didn't like hurt anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So they put up a they put up a fake banner on a abandoned like mall or shopping center that said Trader Joe's coming soon.
Oh, sick.
Oh yeah, I was like, that's funny as fuck. The whole town was like into it, and then they eventually, I guess, they told them like, hey, this is just a prank. There ain't shit coming here,
dude. I guarantee you, Trader Joe's probably gonna go there now.
Right? That'd be cool.
Like they're probably gonna be like, hey, you, because it was probably like such an uproar that everyone's like, yeah, that's cool. And then they probably saw that and they're like, well, I mean, maybe a store would do good there.
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, I thought that was funny. That was like a good example of like some kids that thought about something. Yeah. It's like, let's fuck with some people, with, you know, but they didn't hurt anything.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that totally happen here, you know. Something comes and me and the wife would probably be like, oh, sick, that's coming into town. Yeah. And then later we hear about it and we're like, oh, damn, you know, but it doesn't hurt nobody.
Right.
That's awesome.
We're supposed to get a Hobby Lobby or something.
Yeah.
That's what I hear.
Dude, we're supposed to get our Carl's Jr. again.
Oh yeah, that's coming for sure.
Hobby Lobby and Jersey Mike's.
Oh, Jersey Mike's. Carl's Jr. and Jersey Mike's. Fuck it. I'm gonna stop working out now. No more exercise for me. Mm-hmm. I think that I don't care about Hobby Lobby. I just don't know what they're thinking. There's so many things that have come and gone out of the Carson City area. It's especially in like certain spots, and that's one of them. How they're supposed to go over like is it Big Lots or something? Mm-hmm. What's that place next to it?
Burlington.
Yeah, Burlington. Yeah. I'm just like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm surprised the Olive Garden made it.
Well, but we got the Michael's store, and that seems like it kills it. So maybe they kind of see the traffic that goes into there, and they're like, there's enough people in the area that like hobby shit.
Yeah.
You know, Hobby Lobby is cool. It has a ton of stuff, but
yeah, it is cool.
It's not a place that I just think of like, let me go check it out. But if I'm sitting here and I'm very impulsive when it comes to certain things.
Yeah.
So if I'm sitting here with the boys and they're like, oh, it'd be cool to do a model car or something, I'll be like, yep, let's go. And
right.
So it's cool to have the option.
Right.
But
do they sell that stuff?
Yeah, they sell everything.
Do they? I don't know. Last time I was in there, it's all just decor shit.
Dude, it's hobby.
Yeah, not like that. No. Hobby Lobby's like...
I've gone to the big one in Reno.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got like cars that you can build, like model cars.
Do they really?
Yeah, a ton of stuff like that.
Are we talking about the same place?
Yeah.
All right. Last time I was in there, it was just straight decor for your house.
No, it is a lot of that stuff, but...
I got a small section of it.
No, they got a big section of all that. Okay. Dude, they got everything.
I don't know. I didn't see none of that shit. All I was thinking was...
What were you there for?
My company. I had to go grab a bunch of shit for decor purposes.
Yeah, so you're looking at the decor. You weren't there for fucking model trains.
The whole fucking... It's not even a hobby. The hobby and Hobby Lobby is geared towards women's decorating wants. Dare I call them needs?
Hey, it's a hobby.
Let's see here. Remote tribe given internet via Starlink, now hooked on porn and social media.
I mean,
did you see this?
No,
dude. Fuck it. It's just like human nature. Like if you got everything set, it's like
it's weird that they're like
the internet's gonna destroy your brain.
It's kind of weird that they're. I get the porn thing.
Yeah.
Well, even then I don't get it because, so it's a remote tribe.
Yeah.
So not like speaking on the whole race or whatever, but just say like they get on the porn and they see like white women, they're probably like, ew. You know, that has to be the kind of stuff that they're into.
All of a sudden, like introduces like inferiority into the tribe and shit. Like chicks are like, oh my shit, don't look like that.
but then social media, it's like, what are you looking on social media that attracts you?
They all started an Instagram account
because they don't know anything.
It's the Marubo, Marubo tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Reclusive Amazon tribe. It's 2,000 members. Yeah, that's pretty gnarly. Like, I don't know how, when, or why that got introduced there. Actually, I don't know if it says.
Yeah, it's like, why would you do that?
Yeah, I'm not sure why they would do that.
How about you introduce them to fucking a well with water?
But but just the reading about this, I don't see anything in particular, but they must have already had electricity then.
Clickbait.
Yeah. Fucking.
How about you introduce them
That's from Ground News.
Elementary
They're pretty
school.
good usually. They actually give you a breakdown of who's reporting on it and if they're biased one way or the other. That stuff. This in particular is not.
But that's the thing. Like, there has to be more to it than just. So.
Well, maybe we just draw conclusions.
The 2,000 members of the Marab tribe.
Yeah.
That hasn't been civilized has been civilized for the last 5 years. Oh, and guess what? Now they're addicted to porn and stuff. It's not like we just introduced them to this and that's,
Well, they got Starlink. That hasn't been available until recently.
True.
But I wonder if they've had electricity or something, because how are they using this shit?
Oh, yeah. They have
Someone just fucking parachuted a couple laptops in and just keeps replenishing batteries or what?
Mm-hmm. Well, that was what the Amazon was trying to do, right? With the blimps or the air balloons, the balloons. They would deliver like internet signal to remote places.
I didn't know anything about this. Tell me more.
Well, it's just like weather balloons. And they were attaching, they had a company here that my company dealt with. And they would do it here. So they would take off in the desert. And then they can go pick up their weather balloons. But they were basically attaching some type of Wi-Fi or whatever. And they would send it off to remote places. And people were getting internet like that where you wouldn't have it. This is before Starlink. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It was like the first attempt. Mm-hmm. And Elon's just like, fuck it. Let's just use a satellite.
Yeah.
Put a couple, 10,000 satellites out there.
But I think they still do that though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that. That's weird. I wonder how long, like if you put a hot air balloon at any given location, how long it'll stay there for. Like,
well, it travels.
How long can it stay in the air,
Yeah. It's like something to do with like the amount of, I don't know if it's helium or whatever in the weather balloons that they put in it. But give or take, they follow the airstreams.
Oh, okay.
So that's how they can move them around and keep them in certain locations.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting way to do it. I guess it'd be a lot less well, I don't know if it's less expensive than a satellite. Once a satellite's in space, it just stays there.
Yeah.
So it's just like in a falling orbit, basically.
Yeah, but with that satellite, I don't know. Because you have the satellite in space, but then you have to have like those devices, which you would still for whatever they have.
Yeah.
The Starlink device.
So it'd just be a matter of which one's cheaper, to continuously ship off hot air balloons on the same airstream, so to speak.
So I believe, like, so say there was one here, right?
Yeah.
Whatever internet device we have we'll get that internet signal. Starlink, you have to have the Starlink to be able to get the signal from, so it's different.
Oh, I see.
So you don't need like a Starlink device to be able to hook up to the...
Right.
It's just that they're providing like basically a hotspot in the area.
Huh.
So whatever internet connection you have can get that signal.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's a little bit easier than, having to have a Starlink device and all that, like buying stuff. You already have it. They're just providing that signal in the area for remote places.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting way to do it.
So if you have a phone that can have Wi-Fi and there's one of those air balloons, weather balloons in the area, you're going to be able to get it through your phone. So you don't need, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So I think that was the purpose of it, especially for like relief when certain things go down or whatever. So they could have those in the area and people still get signal on their phone and everything.
Right. I wonder why no one else. This is the first I've heard of it, and
yeah, they would test them out here.
There's no one else doing it, right?
Yeah, they would test them out here in the desert, and I think some people, there was like probably a handful of people that would go pick them up sometimes, and then they would have to like go retrieve them. And I think they would pay the people. Like,
oh, really?
Hey, let me get that back.
It's like the fucking monkeys. Have you heard of the stories about the monkeys? I don't know what country they're in right now, but they've learned how to barter.
Oh, probably like Thailand.
Like they like they'll take someone's phone and then they know like, hey, do you want this back? I'm not just gonna bring me like they have like a favorite kind of nut or something. Bring me, a couple bags of these nuts or something. Like obviously they don't tell them, but the locals just know. Go buy these nuts and they'll give you your phone back.
So the locals are the ones
probably
teaching the monkeys.
Like the fucking Abu. He just knows to steal his shit.
Yeah.
But no, apparently they've learned how to do certain things and then barter to get, get what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Like, well, this is my phone now, so would you like it back?
Yeah. There was something that Joe Rogan brought up, and he said an orangutan did something that's very human. I forgot what it was. I wish I remembered now. But it was something like really unusual that a monkey would not know how to do.
Right.
And it did it, and then it was caught on film. People were like, holy shit. They're like evolving.
Oh,
They're
really?
like realizing that that's what you should do in those situations.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You don't remember what it was, though?
No. But it's like those monkeys, they know.
That's nuts. So he's not super well known. I mean, I think most people, if they saw him, they'd know who he is. I forget his name, but he was on Joe Rogan recently. And fucking weird dude, man. Do you remember the guy? He was like, he's played in a ton of stuff, but I think on Dumb and Dumber, he played the cop that pulled him over and drank the piss beer.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's that guy's name? And in another movie, I thought it was that same movie, but it's probably not, where they had picked up a hitchhiker. I don't know what movie it is now, but they picked up a hitchhiker, and it was this actor, and he was talking about 6-minute abs. He's like, you know what's better than 7-minute abs? 6-minute abs, and I'm gonna develop that. Do you remember that?
No,
the dude's name. I gotta look it up real quick.
I know who you're talking about from just that facial.
Yeah, he's all
thing. Yeah.
Fucking so funny. Here it is. Harland Williams is his name.
Yeah.
And anyway, he was on Joe Rogan, and I listened to it, and then I eventually had to go back and I watched part of it with my wife on YouTube, because I was like, dude, this is so fucking wild. I got to see this guy. So he's on there, and he's talking about, he just kind of says like random shit. Like stories. He just, and like Joe Rogan can't figure out if the guy's joking or not. And he's like, hold on. Do you mind if I eat some? I gotta have something to eat real quick. I gotta do this every 20 minutes. And Joe Rogan's like, so like medical thing? What are you doing? He's like, well, kind of a weird story, but he starts eating a stick of celery, and he says he's got a tapeworm that he got from the Galapagos Islands, and he has to eat the celery because the vibrations of the celery produces like the most, crunch really. And the vibrations like kind of tame the worm or something. And he's they're like, Joe's like, you could just kill that thing, right? Yeah. And he's like, yeah, but it's inside me. It's almost like a baby now. It's like, it's like a part of me.
Isn't that guy a comedian?
Yeah. So, but they don't know if he's fucking, because Joe Rogan said some shit and he's like, oh no, I'm serious. And he's like, it's like, yeah, it was like the weirdest thing. And his career's always been kind of like these smaller roles.
But you remember him is the thing, because he's an oddball.
Yeah, he is. He's really odd. So I'm like, fuck, is he joking or not? Anyway, we watched this thing for like 30 minutes, and I was like,
what was the purpose of it? They just kind of like this podcast, they just rambled on.
Yeah, I don't know if he was promoting something or not, but he was just kind of fucking talking about his tapeworm and how they can grow to 40 feet, and his is like 4 feet right now. And I was like, this is bizarre.
Yeah.
He had to be joking.
Joe's that's a tough podcast because, and I know a lot of people love him.
Yeah.
But say like he'll have, if say next week he posts on there and he's like, Tom Brady coming on, and you're like, you're a Tom Brady fan is one thing. But if I'm just like, oh, I want to hear what Tom Brady has to say, like about his career. Right. And they'll talk about fucking ice baths the whole time, kind of like we did. Right. And it's like, dude, you just had Tom Brady on your show and you talked about, he had Cat Williams on after that whole exposing that he did on the other podcast with Shannon Sharp. Uh-huh. So he goes on there and, Cat's a comedian and Joe Rogan's a comedian. So you figure, and they talked about aliens the whole time. I was like, oh, so you're not even going to ask him anything about all the stuff he just stirred up. Right. All the chaos he just did. You're not going to ask him anything about that.
I didn't listen to it. So he didn't ask him at all?
No. They talked about aliens the entire time.
Holy shit.
Well, aliens, like the pyramids.
Right. Okay.
Like that kind of stuff. Right. And Cat Williams talks in a matter of fact way. Like, I know this. Right. So the only thing that Joe does that's good is like, well, how do you know this? Okay. Like, that's what he always does, He's like, yeah, the pyramids were made this way. And then Joe's like, how do you know this? He's like, read any book. Like it's like stuff like that. Right. But I'm like, dude, you're not going to ask him anything? Right. Okay. And I get it. Like, it's cool. Like, that's why I think Joe Rogan's so big, is because he can have these conversations with anyone. But at the same time, when you post on there that you're having this guest on, maybe not as a fan, but like as just in general listener, I want to go on there and learn something.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
About that person.
Yeah, I really pick and choose what I listen to on
Yeah,
his stuff.
exactly. So that's what I'm
like,
trying to say. Yeah. You have to pick and choose. So because that's
like,
why I asked you what was the purpose.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he just has other comedians on there just to bullshit.
Yeah,
I didn't listen to the whole thing. It was fucking weird. And I was like, all right, I'm out. But I'll listen to ones where he has comedians that I've listened to before because they usually have pretty funny conversations.
Yeah.
About nothing. I'm just like, I just want to listen to someone bullshit right now. So those are fun.
Well, sometimes they'll have fighters on and they don't really talk too much about the fighting. Or like a lot of times the fighters ask him questions.
Right.
You know, they're like interviewing him almost.
Yeah.
Because they're so like happy to be there. And I'm like, dude, I really want to know specifics about certain things. You know, which is good though, because I think, you know, if I ever have the opportunity to interview a fighter, then I would have those questions for them and stuff instead of just talking about aliens.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which is cool. You know, you have a 3 hour long podcast. You have to talk about other things other than just comedy or whatever.
Right. Right.
You know, but yeah, sometimes I'm like, no, you kind of dropped the ball on that because I wish you would have talked to him in more specifics about what they do instead of just bullshitting. And the bullshitting's fun.
Yeah.
Right. You get people's personalities better that way. But
yeah, that's interesting. I kind of like the blend myself, but
yeah,
because he's got those like experts on there, and it's like, all right, here we go. This is gonna be a deep dive. Like next thing I would listen to is not another like deep dive.
Well, they had one, and I think the title was just a recent one, and it was marketing guy, professor, and all this. I'm like, oh, cool. Let me go learn about some marketing. Yeah. They talked about like the whole Palestine conflict, and because the guy's Jewish, and like all that stuff. I'm like, I don't want to listen to this. That's not.
Let's get their take on this now.
Yeah, which is fine. It's completely because he's having that conversation, you know. But reading the title and everything, I'm like, oh, this guy's a professor and his specialty is marketing.
Right.
I do marketing. I want to like learn maybe some little tips and tricks here, like what's going on in the marketing world, like just something from a professor, right?
Right.
And then he's just talking about the or you know, all that stuff that's going on in the Middle East, and I'm like, that's cool, but that's not why I wanted to listen to this, because you have a professional in this, and now we're just talking about his feelings about the stuff going on over there because he is Jewish.
Right.
Which I get. So it's cool. But like maybe the title just say like all we talk about is Jewish stuff.
Yeah. All we talk about is Jewish.
Don't go on there and say like, oh, professor, you know, and marketing guy, like all this, because then I get excited and I'm like, yep, that's exactly what I want to listen to.
Yeah. No, for sure. I kind of find the same thing to be true for sure. Well,
to that time.
What do you think? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I was going to actually say it was going to be a short one. So good thing I didn't say that because here we are, an hour later.
Yeah, here we are.
Hour later. Yeah. FMX Rampage next week.
Be there.
Mammoth Motocross the following week. Be there. Come support. Hang out. Be there. That one's going to be fun.
Yeah, that'll be good. It's like 3 days, right? Something like that.
Well, we're there for like 4 days, but yeah.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah. Should be good. A lot of stuff going on in June. Hopefully Mace can come back one of these days.
Yeah.
I talked to him yesterday.
He's alive.
He was on a bender. So once he gets his life back in order, his house back in order, you know, people come and stay and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
You know, you got to entertain people and stuff. So once he gets all that back in order, I think we're back on a regular schedule.
Cool. Right on. I'm here. Ready to go whenever.
Action Image Studios.
Yeah. www.actionimage.studio. Check it out.
Yeah. Anything else?
That's it. Thanks, guys. Tune in next week.